And I moved to Huntsville with like $800 to my name. And see me, at that time, everything, even if it didn't make sense, everything was all about being in flow. If something didn't feel good for me, I moved.
Got it.
And it was so crazy, like innately, like intuitively, I could feel when I needed to shift, but I stand steady because I'm overthinking the next. And every time I do that, God would just do something drastic to make me move.
To make you
Because me and my daddy getting into it was very drastic. That's not our relationship. That wasn't our relationship.
Okay.
Yet it happened.
Okay.
So when it happened, I was like, that's a sign.
That's it.
Move.
Go time.
I had $800. That's it.
Okay.
And I had no plan. I didn't complete the task of getting my cosmetology license. And back home, I was already doing hair and I was stable. But I'm moving to a new city, nothing, $800. I actually moved to Huntsville, Alabama. That's where my husband was from. But he was over the road driving trucks at that time.
Okay.
So.
And y'all are dating at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so when I got there, just so happened his uncle was a barber. And he was like, yo, you don't need a cosmetology license in Alabama. You don't have to go to school to get one. He was like, you can study under a master stylist and get your hours and get one. And I so happen to know one.
Okay.
So I'm there 2 weeks and I do my first interview with the lady who owned the salon.
Okay.
The master stylist. I remember, going to get my little fit, and Huntsville was so much like more jazzier than like DeKalb, Mississippi, right? So I'm like, damn, I don't fit in. Like, I'm like this little country thing, and I get there and I could tell she looked at me like, okay, girl. Right. Like, bitch, you can do hair. Like, you don't look like it. I can read it because I've always been able to pick up off energy. And I'm like, I don't care. I had my little portfolio together and I handed it. And when she started looking, she was like, oh, shit.
Come on, portfolio.
A portfolio.
It wasn't no Instagram. It wasn't follow me on Instagram. It was pictures printed out.
Book. Honey, I had my little thrift store outfit on, honey, and I had my little book, and I was like, here you go.
I know that's right.
And, and through her looking through my work, I started to gain my confidence back. Because I walked in, I was like, I know I don't fit, And she let me come in on the spot. She said, yeah.
Okay.
You can study under me. And she didn't even do what I did, but she could help me get my license.
Okay.
And my hours. So she was like, come on in. So I started to be in her salon and I started to see everything that they told me was impossible. I saw women walk through the door who own restaurants.
Wow.
Who own racetracks.
Wow.
She owned her salon. I was watching this lady make like $10K, $20K a month doing hair. And mind you, this is what I was told is just trash.
It's
you
impossible.
Can't do this. Right. So I'm just seeing all of these people of just different pedigree, from what I was used to walk through the door. And I'm like, sparks.
And I'm like, oh yeah, changing your environment. Y'all gotta change your environment to see what is out there, to believe it is possible. When you're around certain things, it's like, now I know I can do it too.
Yeah. And that's it. That's how I started to feel.
Okay.
So now these little seeds and these little dreams that I had that I was just kind of scared to take action on, I started being more intentional. I was like,
I could do this.
I used to tell my husband, I said, you know what, Huntsville, your city, but this gonna be my city.
Wow.
And I ain't gonna say I didn't believe it, but I ain't, I wasn't saying it, like for real. I was just joking, but I was for real.
Yeah.
Deep down.
Yeah.
So I started like, making flyers, passing them out at Walmart, like just going everywhere. I would befriend a whole bunch of girls from Huntsville, Alabama, and be like, hey, my name's Stormy Steele. I work at blah, 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 blah. I'm new to the city. I want to do your hair, and this is my price. I'll give you a special. And they just started flocking.
That was me, girl.
They just started coming in. They just started coming in and back to back to back. I used to be in a salon from like 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. doing hair back to back to back.
Yep.
And then the craziest thing about that whole transition was when I met that lady whose salon it was, who was letting me study under her. She was like, how much you charge? I was like, I charge $75 or so. And she said, no, the fuck you don't. I was like, what you mean? She was like, you charge $175 minimum.
Period.
And
people paid it, didn't they?
Yep.
I know it.
Immediately.
I know it.
But the gag was, I had to give her 40%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't hate on the player.
But
I can't hate on the boss.
In our
little boss era, right?
It taught me to not, another level of worth.
Yes.
And then it taught me how to save.
Okay.
Because with you giving 40% away and keeping 60, you making your 60 work like it's your full thing.
It's your full 100.
Right. So the moment I got my own, I got my full thing. And now I'm seeing like more. I'm able to, it's like a quantum leap. You know what I'm saying? I jump from here to there and it's like, like immediately. And it was just growing and it was just going. And I was in flow at that point.
Okay.
In a really good flow of what I wanted to do.
So why'd you stop doing hair? Like, how did you get to the entrepreneurial world?
So first step was I wanted my salon experience to be a little bit more proprietary to like what I had to offer.
Okay.
And a lot of my clients that were coming in with like, traction alopecia, they was trying to cover up their hair because I specialized in like protective styling. Okay. So they trying to cover up problems. And I'm like, you know what? I was enamored in hair school when I was there about like hair growth, the phases, the 3 phases of hair growth, etc.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to make a product and use it on their hair and like see what they do. I started obsessed over it so much that I would have dreams about ingredients. I'm dreaming of cayenne pepper and shit. And I'm waking up, I'm like, what that do?
You're like, is this a detox or a scalp?
And so, I spent like a few years like working on something. And I had like my main customers, right? I was like, let's just try it. If it work, it worked. Let's see. I was like, it been working for me. But I already had, situation. I didn't have no hair loss.
Right.
So I'm like, it's my hair growing though, it's long. I was like, so let's see how I do for you. And they hair started sprouting up out the bald places. And I'm like, shit. And then they started telling people.
Okay.
And then those people were like, can we just buy the product and not come to the salon? And so here I am. And this is funny, right? Because I'm telling you, every time I feel like I was supposed to make a move and know how to say, God, do something drastic. Well, in that season, I couldn't do both. I couldn't make the product and do hair. It was a balancing act, and I just couldn't juggle them both.
Okay.
So the hair product would fall on the wayside, like my blossom serum. I couldn't do nothing with it. I was like, I got to do hair.
Okay.
And so, but deep down, I feel like that was what I was supposed to be doing. That was my next jump. But I was like, no, this is solid. This is stable. I'm scared to do anything else.
Okay.
Well, here go the shake up. Here I am in my soul, already knowing you're supposed to do something else. Do this, chase this. I didn't move. I ended up having a really bad salon experience where a girl pulled out a gun on me. And
when you were doing her hair?
No, after I had did her hair. So to this day, I don't know how we got there, because I had did her friend hair and her friend had brought her own hair extensions. And I used to have this big mirror right there, right? And you could see yourself get your hair done.
Yeah.
It's like floor, And she came and got her hair done.
Okay.
But 2 weeks later, she was like, she came back to my salon. She was like, the hair you put in my head ain't my hair. And I was like, yes, it was. I'm like, yes, it was. And that turned into this whole thing. I don't know if she really believed that, or at the time, I'm very popular with hair, right?
Okay.
Everybody like, I want to go to Stormy. She's amazing. The wait time's this. I don't know what it was, but it turned into this thing. And I'm asking her to get out of my salon. She wouldn't leave. And next thing you know, she had her car with a gun. Police come. And it just drained the life out of me because the shit went viral.
What?
I do mean it went viral.
Somebody recorded this?
Yeah, this like 2016, 2017.
Wow.
She recorded it.
Wow.
She was recording the whole time. That's why I'm like, was it a setup? I don't know. So, it went viral. And it's crazy thing, it went viral. But it brought people my way. It made me reach people who when I would have never reached.
Okay.
And that month that happened, that was my first like 100K month selling hair extensions. Because people was like, fuck that. I don't believe that. She don't even look like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy her hair extensions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it brought that with it, but I'm still on the inside from that. I'm broken.
It traumatized
I'm
you.
Traumatized. I'm seeing comments I ain't never seen before. I'm seeing people knew, like, I knew she was too good to be true. Yeah. I knew something was wrong with her,
Thinking you were scamming or doing this. I went through that.
It fucked me up.
Because it's not your character.
To the point where I don't even want to do hair no more. And I'll tell you that I know this is very detailed, but months later, maybe even 7 months later, a lady came in my salon. She wanted her hair done. She had a frontal, and the frontal was, you know how frontals get?
Yeah.
Well, you can't use it anymore?
Yeah.
Her frontal was at that point.
Yeah.
And I was like, ma'am, I can't use this.
Yeah.
That lady told me, she said, I knew I should have came here. I knew what they said about you was true. And I'm like, well, why you come? You know what I'm saying? And it got to the point where everybody who was walking through my door, I'm just having extreme anxiety because I don't know what type of time they are.
Are you going to like me? Are you here to bash me? Are you going to rob me?
Are you trying to do it with the last person did? Like, what's going on? Wow. And at that same time, a colleague of mine had just got shot at her salon. So I was like, this is getting crazy. I was like, I don't want no parts of it. But that's all I had. I hadn't built nothing else. And then I was so scared to leave it because I was like, I spent all these years building this for somebody to come in and one post say, I'm finna destroy,
and tarnish your name off of nothing, off of a lie.
Yeah. And it happened, even though it didn't affect like the revenue, it affected how I showed up every day. Like my energy.
Yes.
And I wasn't giving it everything no more. But yeah, I still was scared to move. So I stuck with it for like 2 more years. And I ended up taking a trip to New York.
Okay.
And I was so adamant. I was like, I've never been to New York before. And I was like, you know what? If I'm going to go to New York, I got to have a balcony because I want to see the city.
Okay.
And I was on that balcony one night. It was for my birthday, August 2018. I'll never forget it. I just had this extreme like epiphany. And it was just like, somebody built this. Somebody had this vision for whatever this is. This was a vision for someone, even or multiple people over the course of time.
But it was just an idea.
But it's here now.
Yeah.
I was like, it's here now, and people experience this. And it's like, why you can't do what you want to do? And I knew I wanted to focus on my hair product for years, but I wasn't moving.
Okay.
And I said, you know what? Sink or swim. I'm going back home. I'm chasing that rabbit. I came home. I canceled every single appointment. And I used to be booked up for like 3 months at a time. I canceled every appointment that I had. I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't do it. I had 10K to my name. That wasn't going to last me long.
Right.
My damn bills at that time were probably like 4K a month.
Right.
So it was like,
I got 2K left.
This all I got. You know what I'm saying? Like, this it.
Right.
And I sat in front of my computer. I built my website from scratch. I had that one product, Hair Blossom Serum. I made a post on social media the next day and relaunched it. I probably sold like 40 bottles. Mind you, though, they $35 a pop. So this, this is a good, decent amount of change. Like 2K. I'm like, hell, if I do this every day, that's more than I was making as a stylist.
For sure.
So that was my first goal.
Okay.
I sat there every day. I would post and I would look at my website. Did that drive traffic? I'm doing this very manually with lack of knowledge, lack of experience.
Lack of a team.
Lack of everything.
Yeah,
just
lack of everything.
Sitting
just
here.
You.
Like excited to go to sleep so I can wake up to see if I can make the next day better than the first one.
Yes.
Month 1, right at 50K in sales. All right. I was like, I beat myself as a hairstylist. And I was like, let's go.